So what will you do when the party's over? So what will you do when the party's over?
Welcome to Third Man in the Ring. I'm your host, Popeye Ray. Today, guys, I got an awesome interview. You know, I'm a Teamster. I've been a Teamster my whole work career. This leader I've admired for many years. This is me saying it. The only African American I know is Secretary Treasurer of the world famous, this is how they say it, the world famous Local 848.
Yes,
so
sir.
give him a warm welcome, my friend, your friend, Eric Tate.
Hey.
Thank you, Eric, man, for
Good to
coming
see
out.
you, brother.
Appreciate it, bro.
It's been a minute. It's been a minute.
That's right. It's
Yeah.
been a little while. It's been a little while. I've known Eric for like 15 years now,
Yeah.
and coming and going when I was an organizer.
Right.
And we were out of here in Long Beach. But Eric, how's the local doing today?
The local's doing great. We're gaining more members all the time. Members seem to be happy. This arena is packed.
Always,
we
yeah.
have a general membership meeting. And I added this balcony that we're sitting in right here.
Yeah.
For extra seating, but membership is doing well. Everybody's-
And this is where, guys, you got to say Eric's being humble. You can see the background. I told him, this ain't about me, it's about you, Eric. He goes, no, we're going to put you on.
I
So
gotta let you know that I'm a big fan. I watch your
I've seen him
podcast.
at a couple of fights as well.
I remember I called you at the one fight and said, "Hey, you down there refereeing that fight? come up to the booth. We up at the booth right now."
So Eric, how long you been a Secretary Treasurer of Local 848?
This October will be 16 years since I've become
16
secretary.
years, yeah. And Secretary Treasurer 16 years?
16
How many
years.
is that?
So I've had
Divided by-
five elections or 5 nominations, 2 elections.
That says a lot, gentlemen. That says a lot, ladies. You know what I mean? And you got a ballot coming up, and
Yep, this is election year for us this year.
Okay.
God willing, I'll get another white ballot, but we'll see what happens.
That's right. So Eric, let's tell the fans. I want your members as well as other Teamster members, as well as people that are thinking about being a Teamster. I want them to know about Eric Tate. Where did Eric Tate grow up at?
Well, I always like to start at the beginning of how I became,
Okay, we'll go there.
So I'm not going to bore you with all the details, but I'm actually a 4th generation college graduate.
Amen.
My great grandfather was the first black first black police chief in Tennessee.
Oh, all right.
My mother's grandfather, and then my grandparents, both my grandparents on my mother's side, were college graduates. My grandfather worked for a bank, and mother worked for the Defense Department, which to be a black female working for the Defense Department back there was something special.
And mind you, this is the 60s and 70s,
This
right?
is before the 60s, this is like the 40s and the 30s.
Let's be honest, people.
My
Back
grandparents.
then, being an African American was probably 10 times harder
Right.
in the world,
Yeah.
the economic world. Back then.
And then both my parents went to segregated high school, but then they both went to college at University of Tennessee, were the first blacks to actually graduate from the University of Tennessee.
Well, I mean, in my opinion, that says a lot about your failing isn't an option, right? Failing isn't
And that's
in the book.
exactly how I feel about it. Is with all those advantages, and then me coming in as a becoming a Teamster. I went back to school. I actually didn't go straight to college after high school. I became a Teamster first, and then went back and got my college degree, and
Oh, okay.
graduated cum laude with a 4-year degree and a Bachelor of Telecommunications, Bachelor of Science.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know what? I hate to say it, but I don't even know what that is. But amen to that, though.
Well,
You know what I mean?
that's why I didn't go to the field. That field's not around too much more, but it's technical.
So Eric, how was your childhood, though?
Oh, very.
Did you grow up in Tennessee or?
No, I was born on the Air Force Base down here in California, Vandenberg. My father was in the military. He was a colonel on top of being everything else.
A colonel, huh?
Yeah, and so I was born on the base. We moved to New York, moved to Pennsylvania, and then back to California. I was up in Northern California for a little while, and
So
then,
you were a traveling kid, huh?
Pops got moved around a lot being in the military, and
yeah. Brothers and sisters.
I got an older brother, lives down here in Coastal Mesa, so we all stayed in California. once we settled here, and been here since second grade. So all that moving around happened before I was even.
So where'd you go to school at?
I went to Ganesha in Pomona.
Wow.
G high.
I know that. I went to Pomona High School for a second.
Oh, that's our rivals over there.
Yeah, and literally two at times.
Yeah, they wouldn't even let us play each other in sports because it always ended in a fight.
Yeah, exactly, man. Literally. Yeah, and then that's Ganesha. That's a rough part of town, man.
It was rough. It was rough
Part of town, bro.
I got bussed down. I lived in Diamond Bar. We got bussed down into Pomona.
Is that the way it was?
Yeah.
Wow.
Diamond Ranch wasn't there yet, so we got bussed into Pomona.
And then probably Ganesha guys gave you a little attitude.
Oh yeah, they said I talk funny.
Yeah.
That's the King's English. I was taught how to speak English properly.
So, did you play sports in high school or anything?
Played football. Was on track and field, soccer. Yeah, was all around.
You were involved in sports, right?
Yeah.
Was Dad a pretty much disciplinary to keep you in check, or you
Oh, yeah.
say luck, or a little bit of everything?
He kept us in check. We knew what we couldn't do. And my brother was a good example of what not to do too. He got into trouble a little bit.
Oh, okay.
So I had to see what he's doing. Say, okay, I know not to do that.
So when did when you go through high school, what do you do after high school?
Immediately after high school, I went and became a bus driver. Started driving, became a Teamster, was a bus driver.
Oh, so it was automatic that it just so happened you got a bus driving Teamster job?
Correct. I didn't know what Teamsters, didn't know too much about Teamsters, but, got into it.
Well, is it fair to say back in the 70s, Teamsters were pretty strong? So I would think stronger than then, because I remember, I'm 62, I remember back in the day, we used to fight to be a Teamster.
Oh yeah. So
I mean, to be a Teamster, I'm a Teamster.
Yeah, so it was the 90s when I came a Teamster.
Okay.
So I only got like 35 years in, but graduated high school in 86.
Oh, okay.
So, it took me a little while to figure out what I wanted to do, but
I was 5 years before you. 5 years before you. So you get into the bus drive. How long did you bus drive for?
I only did four and a half years before I went back to school and went to get my degree. And while I was getting my degree, I got a call from Jim Santangelo, who's my predecessor, and he said, "Hey, your unit that you used to drive for is trying to desert. We need you to come back and save that unit."
Oh, okay. So obviously, when you were driving, you were already involved with the union, huh?
Yeah, I became a shop steward, and felt like I was a leader amongst the group over there.
Yeah,
but
excuse the language, but that takes some balls to be a shop steward, especially in those days.
Yeah, about 100 of us or so.
And that's even more, because when the bigger you are, the easier. I would tend to think it's easier. Yeah. But when you're a smaller group, they tend to pick out the weak,
right,
and attack the strong.
Exactly.
Or sometimes it goes both ways. Sometimes they attack the strong to show the weak. Don't try it.
Oh yeah.
Everybody kind of different,
Right. Exactly.
So you go to college, you get out, you come back here. Did you stop college to come back?
No, I continued on.
So you did both, huh?
Oh yeah, it was rough. Having to go to night school, and at the same time, I started out a part-time BA. And then, became full-time with it, and still getting my degree. Because once you stop, you got to start paying.
Yeah.
So I couldn't afford to start paying for college.
So you obviously had that little break because Dad was in the military, no? From college? I mean, how you get that financial help?
Oh, no. I was too old by then.
Okay.
Once you become 25,
that's it.
They cut they no longer look at your parents to see, which if I had gone straight from high school, then I could have had my college paid for. Parents would have paid for. But once you get a little older, then you got to do it on your own now.
Exactly.
Use that money for something else.
So you go to college. You're being a BA and going to college. How was your personal life? You get married?
I was married. I had 2 kids. It was rough, but I'd say along my daughter, and she's doing her homework, and I'm doing my homework. I'm trying to make sure that she turns out, because she's a Teamster now as well, but she's 5th generation college graduate, and actually she has her master's degree, so she's doing very well herself.
And how old was your boy?
My son just turned 30 this month.
Oh, okay. And what's he doing with himself?
So he's autistic, high functioning, but he's autistic, which is, we'll talk about it a little later, but that's another
Challenge in life.
it's a challenge, but also something that's near and dear to my heart to help kids that are in his situation. It's the charity that's for Local 848 is a helping children that are.
Amen on that.
Autistic.
Amen. I got a grandson, level 4.
Yeah.
It's the highest level. He's only 4, but yeah, he still hasn't spoken. But no, I feel you on that.
Yeah.
I feel you on that. So, when did you start becoming, heavily involved at the union? Besides trying to get the bus, they were trying to desert.
Yeah, they put in for a desert and got called.
Can you explain real quick what a desert is?
Desert means that the unit was trying to leave the union. Somebody got in there and put in their head that they didn't need to be union anymore.
And we're going to talk about that, union busters, but
Yeah. And so they called me because I know, everybody in that yard, even though I hadn't been there for a few years, but they called me to come back in there, and I said, I'll go in there and assess, what the problems are and figure out how we can hopefully try and save it. And,
did you save it?
So I came back after, spending several weeks down there with them, and I told Jim Santangelo, I said, well, the good news is we're going to win this election.
There you go.
Bad news is you're only going to win it by 3.
Wow.
And so the numbers came down and we won it by 3.
Yeah.
Called it on the number. I knew who was going to do it.
And let me ask you that, Eric, when the company sees that you win it only by 3, they're still going to work, huh?
Oh yeah, because they're going to still continue to try. They're going to try to break that down. So that means you got to get in there
Even
and
more.
start changing some minds and actually keep the promises. If you made some promises, you better keep your promises. Otherwise,
That's right.
In a year they'll be at it again. And if they do it again in a year, you've pretty much lost that unit.
And this is why I say, guys, and here's my opinion as well. I hope you don't feel disrespected. I've been a Teamster since '94. Some locals are stronger than others. And I know Eric keeps his business agent accountable. And what I mean by that, guys, is you're going to show up at your job site. You're going to show up at there and you're going to interact. And that's what I've seen.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I'm not going to mention other locals, but as an organizer, when I worked for the Nationals, sometimes I'd see some of these locals, they wouldn't go interact.
Yeah.
And then they get mad, or why'd they desert, or why are no members showing up?
At Local 848, a desert is grounds for termination.
He went there down.
If I lose a unit, somebody got to be accountable as to why I lost this unit. So there's been a few business agents here that have lost their jobs.
Yeah.
We haven't had many deserts, and I think we've had one that we've lost since I've been principal officer, and that person's no longer here. That was the age of that group. And there's been some other ones that they've actually won, and I was like, yeah, you better win it.
That's right. That's right.
Because
some are just slam dunk. They need it and they know it. You know what I mean?
Right.
But again, guys, that's why I admire Eric Tate, because he keeps his business agent accountable, and that's what a lot of is it fair to say union haters? Oh, well, the business agent never comes. The business agent is in bed with the company. My opinion to that, Eric, and please, put your input in. If you don't know your contract, I'm saying as an employee, then I don't think you have the right to speak on it and badmouth your local.
And that's definitely, we keep records as to who comes to the votes. And then, hey,
this place is packed, guys.
You don't even show up to your vote, and you want to complain what you got in your contract. I don't want to hear from you. You have no rights to talk about it.
Exactly.
If you weren't a member at the time that the vote came down, you got to wait and get some whiskers, before you start talking about what you do and don't have.
And I'm sure you've heard it all. Well, that ain't right, or this ain't right. The law's the law. The contract's the contract.
Right.
I seen a shirt the other day. Some guy at Costco, it says seniority sucks, and it had a Teamster emblem, but on the bottom it says until you have
Until you got some.
I said, that is an awesome shirt.
Exactly.
I remember when I first started right here at CF in Long Beach.
Right.
I was part of 692 here. And man, I wanted this bid, that bid, and I'd be the first to say, "Oh, that ain't right." I could do that shift better than that shift. But it's not until I got my seniority when I said, "Wow,
Right.
wow, this is awesome."
Yeah. Yeah, when you have seniority, it's the best thing since sliced bread. But
That's right.
when you don't have none, this is BS.
When they call me now for your bid, it feels so comfortable to know that's my bid and I got it and it's done. And I always tell the younger guys, your time's coming, bro. Your time's coming and you're gonna appreciate it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, if I stayed in my unit, which we still have the best yard, I'd only be number 3 on the senior unit.
Wow,
I still win
is
the
that right?
time, yeah.
There's
still
some guys even bigger whiskers there, huh?
2 people that were there before me that's still there. Yeah.
Wow.
So,
So yeah, Eric. So what do you say about these members that don't come to their meetings, don't get involved, don't read their contract, but wanna be at the yards, talking negative or talking negative about their business agent, if not their stewards? I mean, if you had to talk to them one-on-one, what would you say to them?
well, a lot of times I tell the business agents because the business agents complain about those type of individuals. But I tell them, hey, that's the privilege of being a rank and file member. You get to complain. You can blame the business agent. You can blame the union. Until they're not there, and then when they're not there, and you're getting much worse, and you're getting mistreated, and there's no one there to help you, then you'll understand why they're not there. Why you needed them to be there.
Exactly. And to toot the horn of the business agents at 848 and Local 63, they're still going to get defended.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
As much as they cried and stomped their feet, the business agent's still going to defend them.
Yeah.
And you know what? That's the power of the union, guys. That's the power of the Teamsters. Is, you know what? We're not going to take it personal. Yes, you need to come to the meeting. Yes, you need to get involved. And if what I used to say as an organizer, if you want things changed, then get in there and put a vote in.
Right.
You know what I mean? When the contract comes up, and put a vote in.
Get your say so. Get you
say-so.
there for the proposal meeting so you can get what you want to see in a contract. You make your proposals.
And when the contract is done, it doesn't get passed until you pass it to your members,
So the majority of those show up at the vote. It has to be a majority of those people that show up.
That's right. I used to tell the guys, hey, if you want Disneyland tickets for the next 20 years, well, if everybody votes for it, we'll shoot for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
But don't complain if you're not going to read your contract, guys.
Right.
Don't complain if you're not going to get involved, guys. It's like voting for anything. If you don't vote, you gave your vote privileges to the next guy.
Right.
You know what I mean? So Eric, and don't be, tell it like it is. Why do you think you've won all these terms? I have the answer already, but
I pride myself on being accessible to the members, and
hey, you talk to me.
if you
I'm
call,
a small fry.
if you call me, I'm gonna call you back if I don't answer. And a lot of times I'll answer. Not only if you call the office, it rings on my cell phone, but if you call my cell phone, it rings on my cell phone. So I hate returning calls. I rather just pick up, handle it right there on the spot, rather than send it to voicemail and then have to try and catch you later. So I think a lot of my members will tell you that as a principal officer, I'm pretty accessible. You can call me anytime. Business agents hate it because when they call a business agent and they don't pick up and they call me, and then I go to the business agent, hey, why are they calling me and not calling you?
Yeah. And I just want to, and this is just from one of your business agents, Eric Tate truly cares for their rank and file members, their issues. I've learned so many negotiating skills, especially how you diffuse and keep in control of situations and not allow someone to provoke this particular business agent and to provoke them to strike back. He put MF, which I don't like cussing, but he goes, MFs get out of line. And I have been in violent port strikes, port lines, and labor movement, and it is part of the legacy of our industry that we organize the port. We also known as the striking local. Great leader, I stand behind Eric Tate till I retire. Solidarity, and I'll say his name, Reyes.
Wow.
And the reason I bring up Reyes, because I've known Reyes since 1994 when we worked at Consolidated Freightway.
Yeah.
This dude is a solid dude. He's a solid business agent for the reason why he's still working here.
Oh yeah, I mean Reyes is very close with his members. I mean he's always at his shops, and members never say that they can't get a hold of Reyes. Reyes is someone that's very accessible to his members, and
And he's a tough cookie.
Oh, yeah.
We got in a few rumbles back in the CF.
You don't want to pass Reyes off because he's quick to strike.
He's a weak. That's right. That's right.
While I'm still trying to talk about his bam, he comes with the left and the right.
And let's be honest, Eric. We don't want violence, but we're not going to be provoked or pushed around by management
or anybody else.
Or anybody else for that matter.
A4's not going to be terrorized by anybody.
That's right. And you know what, guys? That's what you want. You want men and women that will fight for you for your rights. Yes, we're not going to be provoked. Yes, we're not going to go out there to promote violence, but you're not going to come out and try to punk us either.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's what you want, guys. I don't know if you agree, but I've always told the members at T-Force, I work for T-Force now, the union's like your personal lawyer. Your personal lawyer. You can pick up, call your business agent, and hey, they're doing this to me. They're doing that to me. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that's the awesome thing about having a union.
Right.
You know what I mean? And here's another one from another man that I've known since '94. Hey, my brother, hope all is well. Reyes told me that you wanted a statement from us about Eric Tate. Eric Tate to me is a great leader, a great leader in the labor movement that has negotiated some great contracts and has definitely changed families' lives. And as well as being a great secretary-treasurer representing Local 848. Working under Brother Tate, as a business agent, I have learned so much about the movement. And one last thing, it's an honor to work for the brother the last 13 years. And that's from my brother, Preston.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Me, Preston, and Reyes worked there.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, Preston's a hothead. And I say that in a nice way. Preston was always the one getting them up at CF. And me and Reyes were always backing him up. We'd always clown him because he's African-American and we were Chicano. But we were always there with Preston, you know what I mean? And you know what? For him to say something like that about you, that's more I take it to the heart because Preston was kind of mean back then, you know?
Yeah,
he wasn't a nice guy, bro.
I refer to him more as he's passionate.
Yeah,
he's passionate about what he's doing, and that brings out the emotions inside of him. I've learned to allow him to express himself.
At a short leash,
just express yourself. He's not gonna go too far with it, but he just needs to get it off his chest because if he keeps it inside, then you start having health problems. So I just let him get it out.
That's right.
Say what
That's right.
I have no fault with the business agent telling me. I mean, we've gotten in a lot of arguments.
Yeah.
It's not like I'm a dictator and you can't talk to me. This is I just happen to be the person that's in the leadership role, but just like with Santiago,
you let them speak their piece.
Speak your piece is not going to affect your position here. I'm about, take care of those members.
That's right.
If the members aren't being taken care of, that's when we have a problem. But
that's right.
Us having an argument, and at the end, we're still family here. So that's not.
And again, I'm not blowing smoke, Eric. It shows by guys, the members here. This place is packed. This place is packed on their days of union meetings. What do you have them every
month except for during the summer months.
Yeah, you close down. Just like all the locals do the summer months, we close down too. But it shows because, again, I won't say certain locals, but I've been to certain locals. You might have 50 members show up.
I've heard that some have a hard time making quorum. I don't know what quorum is. I don't know what my quorum is because I've never been close to it. It means that you don't have enough members to even vote on anything. You can't approve the books. You can't approve the minutes because you don't have enough members to vote on it.
And exactly, when I walked in, I said, "Oh my God, nobody came."
We got more staff than than gentlemen, members, regular file.
And I just something's not right here, man.
Yeah. And a lot of locals like it that way because they don't want members from different shops getting to know each other, because then they may get together and try and run against you or something. But like I said, this membership to me is family. I want everybody, as many as possible, to come in here and experience what's going on in this local.
Sonora Tires, 17977 Valley Boulevard in Bloomington, California. They do tires, mufflers, brakes, alignments, air conditioning. I've known Armando for almost 12 years. Him and his son do great business there, reasonable prices. So check them out, Sonora Tires. Tell them Popeye Ray sent you. And I say this with total respect. You're a lot of big Samoans here, bro. Some big Samoans, bro.
Don't get out of hand in here.
That's right.
I tell all my sergeant arms, okay, this is very important. Understand this. When the riot breaks out, you save me first.
That's
Then
right.
you come back for the rest of them if there's
Right.
time.
That's right. When I was here, when it was 8-4, what was it? 942? Back in the day?
692.
692. Yeah, man, I never seen so many big Samoans here, bro. Why did that change, if you don't mind me asking? What was that about?
I mean, we still have some pretty big Samoans. I mean,
No, I'm saying the number change of the local. When did?
Oh, we merged. So 848 was local out of El Monte, and 692 was local. It actually was in this building.
Yeah.
And Jim Santangelo and Louis Giapapa got together and decided to merge the two together. And
Okay.
the 848 number won out over the 692 number.
Oh, okay.
But and then today,
And I still have a jacket.
yeah, I got one too that says 692 because I thought that was pretty good memory. You want to know where you came from or what's merged in. But today, I know at YRC, the whole time the YRC was there, you always had the guys that were roadway and the guys that were yellow. At 848, no one's calling themselves 692 versus 848. Everybody here is 848. It's not we don't discriminate or have segregations between the two numbers.
It's good you brought that up, Eric. I'd like to hear your opinion on it. I was with Consolidated Freightway 13 years, me, Reyes, and Preston.
Mm-hmm.
When the company shut down, I'm partly guilty because partly was like, well, what is the union going to do? But as I learned the contracts, I learned union business. We don't control the company. We just protect the worker. We can't tell the company, don't pick up this, pick up that. It was freight. You know what I mean? So with CF closing, I don't know if you knew the details of it. How did you feel about the roadway incident? Because we got drivers at T-Force now from roadway, and some of them are bitter. And to this day, just last Friday, I was saying, bro, that wasn't the union's fault.
Yeah, they're bitter. They're bitter at this local as well, and we always said it. I think they got a right to be bitter because they lost their pension. So
yes, and that hurt.
If I lost my pension, I'd probably never be the same as well.
Because they're pretty much starting over if they're looking for that union company with pension.
They're out there scrambling. Some of them we got jobs over at C Logics, and they're happy.
Which is a great job.
Oh yeah, it's definitely a good job. But the whole YRC thing, I mean, they kept these guys on the hook because they voted to get rid of their pension right before I became principal officer. So earlier that year in 2009, they did that vote. So when I came as a principal officer, I'm going into a situation where they're already pissed off about it. But at that time, they thought they'd get their pension back. And then when they found out they weren't going to never get it back, that just sank everything down, down the tubes. And I tried to find loopholes and ways of trying for them to get it back, change the name of the company. Maybe they can get back in that way, or But
so if anything, the union tried to help the company itself to.
I tried to find a way to get around the language of the pension to try and. I knew that was important.
Yes.
And then they got sold a bill of goods to vote to stop the pension because at the time nobody ever told them that they're going to have to repay all the money in order to get back in. That was the only way they were ever going to get back in is they had to repay all the back money. So you figure they stopped their pension, I think, for 5 years or whatever it was. How is this company that's been hurting already going to ever pay that back money and get them? And why would they? Nobody's going to do anything to them if they don't. So it was never going to happen.
Yeah. That was a hard one to swallow. I felt for those guys. We have a lot of them at T-Force now, and I'm sure there's a lot over here. But Sealand, that's a great job.
Oh yeah, that's the best. That's the best job in local freight is C Logics with the, they got some superior items in that contract that some other contracts don't have. Until proven guilty, if you get in trouble and it's a terminal offense, you get to continue working until it's proven in the panel hearings before you actually come up with the job.
Where do you have that kind of protection, guys? Until proven guilty.
Yeah, that's UPS language. That's where I got it from. So I saw it in their contract. Said, I'm gonna get that over there. All hours worked on their pension. They got a gross amount of personal days and sick days. I mean, I think they got 17 between the two.
Wow.
A year.
Where do I sign up, bro?
I mean,
we got an awesome contract too, though. We got an awesome contract. We even have a pension. I mean, it's not big money, but I think it's $3.50 to an hour we get to our pension with T-Force. But it's something, guys.
Yeah.
It's something. But more importantly, guys, like Eric Tate said, Where do you get that kind of protection? You keep working till proven guilty. Me and my brother Romero Alonzo, we got the XPO contract. And mind you, there was guys in that XPO 25, 30 years, and the boss would come out, have words with them, you're fired. They could do nothing for them.
Right.
Unfortunately, they didn't like the contract and they shot it down. And a lot of those guys from XPO went off to UPS. That's when they had that big hiring thing.
Right.
Since we're on that, what do you think about this buyout with UPS?
Well, I don't pay attention too much to what's going on in UPS because I don't have any UPS in local freight, but I did hear about the buyout, and I've talked to a couple of the members out there.
Let me interrupt you. Is it fair to say if it goes through that, it might go through another? C-Logic, it might go through T-Force?
I mean, I've had buyouts at some of my shops,
well, obviously some work and some don't, right?
Yeah, I mean, but, the buyout I got, and young ladies down there working in the store right now at Local Freight, got a buyout for her where they paid her salary for 3 years.
Oh.
That was her buyout. That's the type of buyout I'm negotiating. I mean,
that's nice.
They want to take away, a whole group of people and buy them out. Let's really talk about it. It was,
right.
for I think
make it worth
10
it, right?
people, it was like over $1 million worth of buyout.
Wow.
But that's working with C-Logic and having a relationship in order to make something like that happen. But 3 years of pay, basically pension, medical wages coming for 3 years. That's a buyout that you can't turn down.
That's all I got is 3 years left to retire. Shoot, where do I sign up?
That's exactly what it did. It bridged them to their retirement.
Yeah.
And then I've done that a couple of times. I tried to do that for some other members at Toyota, but didn't go to fruition. But I like to. If you're going to retire, this is the type of buyout that if you're going to retire anyway, or for some reason you're going to quit, I don't see how you turn down free money.
Yeah, exactly.
If you're leaving anyway.
Yeah, if you're leaving anyways.
If you're planning on staying there to the end of your career, that's not enough money to.
Well, I mean, my opinion is just my opinion. For the older senior guys at UPS, why not? If you got to, you're going to retire.
If you're going.
Why not?
I mean, there's a rumor out there that if you hang on until the first of next year, the buyout goes up to $3,000.
Oh wow!
So don't bite at the first carrot.
That's right.
They got a bigger bone coming down the road.
So if you could speak on it, or if you don't want to speak on it, what's the big deal though? Then what's the big deal that the unions say no, you can't do that? They don't like the money part
I think
of it.
the union would like the opportunity to negotiate that for its members.
Oh, instead of offering it,
they're
right?
just throwing it out there. So that's the first offer. They might be able to go in and get something even more.
It's $1 billion company.
Right. Yeah.
So they could afford it big time.
I mean, I don't particularly like the reason why they would they're doing the buyout, because they're going to downsize, the membership. It's one thing if you're going to do a buyout just to get younger people in, or you try to save money that way.
They didn't look at it that way.
But they're disbanding people.
And is it fair to say, Eric, corporate greed always got a game plan against us?
Oh yeah, they're trying to automate the hell out of that company.
You know what I mean?
We're going to be replaced by robots in every industry. I mean, warehouses are first, but drivers are second, because with these autonomous vehicles.
I know. That's scary.
You go in LA today. You got these Waymo cars, or whatever, driving around with nobody in there driving it. Little ice cream truck going down the sidewalk.
That's scary, man.
Just going down there to make deliveries for fast food deliveries. So putting the Uber guy out of job before he even becomes a real job.
Yeah. My Adrian, who Eric Tate sponsored my Adrian Corona, the boxer, and he got a job at UPS as a truck driver, Class A.
Yeah.
But he was like, Dad, what's that going to do with me? I go, you know what, Emil, just take it day by day and just stay union, stay focused, and all you can do is pray about it. You know what I mean?
You got to figure out what's our next step. Otherwise, nobody's going to be working. I mean, it'll be like iRobot, where you have to purchase a robot to go out and work for you. And that's how you make your money.
Oh, that's crazy. Bro. That's crazy. So, Eric, where do you see 848? And God willing, you win this new election. Where do you see 848 in 5 years?
So we're trying to do some different things here with some thinking outside the box. You know, and I kind of touched on this a little bit before. So our nonprofit is, helping autistic children. We have a speech and language school over here in Buena Park that we support. And then we have the store down here where we're making Teamster gear. So some of our Teamster gear is being made by autistic children.
Wow.
At a school over here in Gardena, which is called Michael's Learning Center. And they have Michael's embroidery and silk screening that they do. So they're actually making our gear.
And we have a split screen, and we're showing it right now, guys, the store.
Yeah.
But
and so we have brand new embroidered shirts down there in the store. Now anywhere in the country, you can get your local number on a collared embroidered shirt.
Wow, so you offer it to other locals as well?
Oh yeah. Michael's is offering it to other locals. So Michael's is doing the work. They're doing the embroidery. You send in, you go online, you purchase that shirt, you put your local number in there. It goes straight to Michael's Learning Center. These autistic, high functioning autistic children are stitching that shirt with the embroidery machine, and they're gonna mail it directly to you.
So see, guys, even I'm telling all you Teamster members, that money is going to a good cause, guys. So you know what? Get your shirts. You can get, again, you're seeing it on the split screen. They got everything there, guys. Jackets, hats, towels, cups. And you know what? I didn't know that, but that's an awesome, that money's going to them,
So that's
my grandson, like I was telling, my grandson's autistic, and I'm definitely going to get into that. And Michael's will be on the bottom of the screen, guys. There you go. You can get that.
Yeah, you can go directly to them. They make all different types. It's an actual embroidery silk screening shop that they have in Gardena. They're making it for all several different schools, and these kids are actually in there doing the work. They have a person there with them. So, and with that, we want to have a person on site that and I hope to work with an organization called I Can. Where they send a person in, and then there's a special needs person that actually work for the local and doing. I bought an embroidery machine that's downstairs, and that embroidery machine, will be operated here on site. So if you come in and order, we can stitch that shirt up for you right there on the spot.
There you go, guys.
Whatever local it is, that's our next phase on that.
That's awesome.
And then finally, there's our big deal. There's a property behind us. 4.5 acres that belongs to the city of Long Beach. And so we've been in talks with the city of Long Beach to turn that into a playground with no bounds, which is a playground for handicapped children to play on that, play in the park on that property back there.
That's touching, Eric. Man, seriously, man.
And so, it'd be a whole park for them, stuff made for them to be on there where it's wheelchair accessible, and throughout that entire park, special needs children be working in that park with having a Teamster job, Teamster pension.
That's awesome.
Get these kids out there working. Instead of my son, he's sitting at home. There's nothing for him to do all day. But we gotta find stuff for them to do. They need to know what it's like to have a job and earn their money. Yeah, exactly. So that's a big project. That's in 5 years that should be up and running, and it'll fit in right here at the back of this parking lot, and you'll be able to drive through right to that park.
Wow, that's very touching, man. That's awesome, man. And again, guys, I'm saying that Eric could use the money for anything else, but he's looking out for the future of our kids, man. Especially our special needs kids.
Yeah.
Sometimes we tend to forget them.
Written on the wall back there, at the top of there, it says the foundation.
Our members, our strength, and our children.
So you start with the foundation. The retirees are the foundations. The members are the strength, and the children are our future.
That's right.
You got to take care of all of it. The ones that came before us, we continue to take care of them by working, and that pension is what keeping them, their pension coming in. Yeah. We're working, and one day we'll be a part of that foundation and get our pension. I tell everybody, I want my pension. If I don't get my pension, I'm coming back to haunt somebody. I better get that pension. I better not die before I get that pension. And those that come after me, the future. We got to take care of them. Whether they're regular or together. You got to take care of the future of the children and make sure that they're okay. Because, like I said, machines are coming to take over all the jobs.
That's scary, but we got to keep fighting, right? We got to keep fighting, man. You can't just give up. So Eric, let's just say somebody out there wants to organize is it just the harbor area that you work with, or
Oh no.
do you have?
Oh no. Oh yeah. So local aid freight is big in the busing industry, which is the industry I came out of. We have close to 2,000 bus drivers in this local. Local aid freight is in the beverage industry. We have liquor, soft drink. We're in grocery. We're in food service, as well as the ports. Toyota. We have more Toyota units than any other union in the country because we got 3 out of 4 in California. And Toyota, you need to let me in so I can get that 4th one over there in Ontario.
Right. That's right. I know where that's at.
Yeah, that's the only one that's not unionized.
Oh,
so we need to get that unionized.
just up the street.
Yeah.
I'll start dropping some pamphlets over there, bro.
They're tough over there.
You're talking about the warehouse or the drivers?
No, the warehouse. The people working inside of there. They built that place like they knew the union was going to try and come in here.
Yeah, it's like a little
quarter of a mile from the warehouse, like quarter of a mile from the street.
Yeah.
So they've thought ahead when they built that place.
And it's like a loop in there.
Yeah.
You can't even go into their parking lot.
Oh no, they're being tough about it. But
wow. But when I see those, I know a couple of guys at 24 Hour Fitness that work there.
Yeah.
Definitely run something by them, man.
Yeah, we've got some bites here and there, but they're nervous. They think that Toyota's going to take stuff away from them if they become union. I was like, well, I've never negotiated a contract.
I was just gonna say,
where anybody has lost anything they didn't already have.
That's right.
I don't roll that way. Matter of fact,
Exactly.
you're going to get some things you don't have, like a pension.
Exactly.
Medical. They're paying, I think, like $300 something a month for their medical over there. My guys pay $20 a month.
Did you hear that? Say that one more time. $300 a month to $20 a month union.
Right.
Come on, guys. I mean, and remember, it's your legal right to organize. It's your legal right to organize union. As long as you play your cards right, you listen to your organizer, he's going to guide you in the right thing. Yes, things do happen, but if you listen to your organizer, you're not going to get fired. You're not going to get fired. But you got to do what you said. You got to do what it's told. What is it? I mean, I haven't been organizing. They like a committee first.
Yeah, you got to start with a small group. Keep it tight knit.
Well, I'm definitely going to tell those guys, come take a drive over here. Come sit down with Eric.
Yeah.
Or whoever your organizer for that unit is.
Doesn't hurt to look.
That's right.
And we've had.
I like the way you said it. It doesn't hurt to hear them out.
Right.
What they're offering. They're not persuading you. They're just telling you this is what we can do for you.
Yeah.
Take it or leave it.
We don't charge them a dime until they get a contract. So
That's right. You are not charged dues until that contract is signed, sealed, and locked in.
Right.
Then you pay dues. And again, guys, in my opinion, you have your attorney right in your pocket at all times. And what's this? In my organizing day, well, unions are just for lazy guys. Now, my opinion on that, guys, is we all have bad days at work.
Yeah.
We all have bad days at work. Yes. When I was at CF, hear me out. Don't get mad at me, Eric. When I was at CF, we had to strip 3 trailers a night. That was mandatory.
Mm-hmm.
Mind you, I was a dangerous youngster there. I was on drugs. I was stripping 4 or 5 trailers a night. But mind you, some of the other guys that weren't on drugs were doing 1 trailer a whole night. And I had that mentality. Why does he get protected and I don't? But I was just as guilty as him because look at how I was working. So when somebody says, oh, they're protecting the lazy guy, everybody gets protected. You might think he's lazy, but you know what? He worked safe and I didn't.
Right.
You know what I mean? And shame on me for putting them in danger. But I thank God now, looking back now, all of us were protected, guys. Everybody's going to have a bad day. Sometimes a manager can come in and he's having a bad day. You're fired, bro. Right. What are you going to do? Go to human resources? I have the answer for this, but who does human resources work for?
The company.
Thank you.
They're there to protect the company.
They're there to protect the company.
Right.
Period. They're going to look out for the best interests of the company. Period. So when you go complain that Joe Blow, the supervisor, is harassing you and fired you for no reason, who are they going to look after first? Joe Blow, not you. But if you're in the union, You just say, okay, no problem. You tell your steward, the steward calls the business day, and they have a sit down. Some contract, not all, they have the seven steps of just cause.
Right.
You know what I mean? And when you negotiate your contract, some will get that negotiated in.
Most contracts have that in there. A lot of people, when they see it and they think it's slang, you know, it's just cause.
Yeah.
It's not just cause, it's not short for just because they can terminate you. It's just cause, which is a legal term, which, you know, like you said, it's 7 steps that they have to meet in order to terminate somebody. So I have to explain that to the members because everybody's like, this contract says that I can be terminated just cause.
And again, I know we're being funny, but again, that's why you need to read your contract. That's why you need to come to union meetings, so you know your contract. When you know your rights, guys, it's like getting pulled over by the cops. Sir, with all due respect, I know my rights. But if you don't know your rights, what's going to happen? Well, we've seen what happens there, you know what I mean? Know your contract, gentlemen. Read your contract, gentlemen. Get involved, gentlemen. Come out, even if it's just to come and hear handsome Tate here speak, have a hot dog and a soda and mingle with your brothers and sisters. Come out. It's an awesome brotherhood, man. It's an awesome brotherhood. Well, you know what, Eric? I thank you for coming on, but I always ask my guests, if you had to go sit down to a meal out there with the wife and even the kids, what would you sit down to eat, man?
Where?
What's your sit down meal?
I think the thing I like the best is, you know, sitting down with a nice tomahawk steak.
Big steak, huh? Oh, yeah.
The big bone,
I like it with all the fat on it.
Hanging off there with the big bones so everybody can see that I got the biggest steak in the house. Which I don't get to eat very often because I got gout, so I don't. Yeah, you gotta be careful now, dude. But that's probably if I'm not gonna have any pain afterwards, you know, just being able to sit down with a tomahawk.
Good steak, huh?
Yeah, everything on the side.
That's baked potato. Oh man, yeah. Corn on the cob. Oh yeah, that's awesome. And if you had just off the top of your head, you have a good friend, a best friend?
So
I know. Don't mention me, man.
I have a friend that's been here. Been with my friend probably the longest, which is Steve, who actually works for the local. He cleans the offices and stuff over in Glendora. That's a long-term friend that I've known forever. He got in some trouble, had to do a little time, and so I take care of him, make sure he has a job. But all my friends, today work in the Teamsters.
That's right.
I enjoy spending time with the members, and I think everybody inside my local is my best friends. Those are the people I turn to when I got a problem.
Yeah.
And there's a few others that outside the Teamsters, but I don't hang with them the way I used to because I'm usually engulfed with what's going on with the Teamsters.
Let's be honest, your job's a 24/7 job. You know what I mean? I'm sure you get calls all the time.
Right.
Yeah. So what about sports? You got any good sports you like watching?
I'm NFL football.
Who you got, man?
I'm Raiders.
Oh man!
Come on now,
come on, bro. Eric, bro.
How you gonna live around here and not be a Raider fan?
I'm a Rams fan. Eric, I heard if they don't play good this year, they're going to be shot down to Pop Warner. That's what I heard. Man. That's what I heard, man.
Yeah.
I'm going to actually have a football segment in a couple of weeks with a big-time Raiders fan. And Beto, he's a commentator for the Rams, and another Rams fan. We're going to talk about the upcoming season.
Yeah.
And then we're going to make predictions, so I hope you check that out.
Oh, absolutely.
So we know Eric's not perfect. He's a Raiders fan, you know what I mean?
I'm a Raiders fan, I'm a Lakers fan.
And a boxing fan. He's been in a few fights.
Oh, yeah. You got to see Ruiz. That's the fight you were refereeing. Ruiz right before he became the champ.
Yeah.
And, we didn't know that he was going to get that. We knew he was going to do the fight, but we didn't know he was going to win it. Which was a great step for him. Somebody in that condition, condition like me, to become the boxing world champ of the world.
That's right. It gives us hope, huh?
Yeah.
Well, to that strike line, I can do this.
Well, I see him now, though. He's cut. He got himself a chance. No, he can't box no more. He got to get back to being overweight.
But you're a Lakers fan too, huh?
Lakers fan, yeah, definitely. My baseball team is not the Dodgers.
Oh my, Eric, you're killing me here, Eric.
I'm an Angels and A's fan, so I like the Angels and I like the A's. I'm from Oakland. So
Okay.
I lived in Northern Cal for a while, so
Okay,
Raiders.
all I can say, Eric's bigger than me, so I'll keep my mouth shut, man. I mean, I know where. I'm smart. I'm not stupid. So, Eric, what would you like to say closing up with the fans about 848? Be sincere, man. 'Cause I love this local. You guys helped out my son. You've always shown me love, and you're an awesome leader, bro. And just maybe you could even say it to your members.
Yeah, I mean, I just want to thank you for, getting a hold of me and asking to do this interview. I jumped at the chance when you called me.
Thank you.
Anything to support what you're doing. Always been a big fan of your son and his boxing career. Surprised that he's a Teamster. That's a great thing.
Yeah.
Following in the footsteps. But to my members and to those that are not Teamsters out there, Teamsters is a way of life, and it's a way for you to be able to provide for your family.
That's right.
We got 7,500 to 8,000 members that got good paying jobs because of the Teamsters. And so if you're out there struggling and working in fast food and not making it, come on down and get one of these jobs.
That's right.
And change your life.
And guys, we're gonna have the locals email here. So if you're at a job and you want to organize, it will be kept undercover until the organizer meets with you, and the information's right here on the split screen. You see it right here. So I encourage you guys, hey, it's your federal right to organize. It's your federal right to be a Teamster. And I'm telling you from the bottom of my heart, I'm blessed. My family's blessed. Financially, I'm blessed. And being a Teamster, there's 1,000 pros and maybe one negative, and that's I'm not an organizer anymore. That's the only one. But I'm a happy camper. I'm a happy camper. I love my local. I love my Teamsters. So hey guys, I want to thank you again, Eric, for coming on.
All right.
Appreciate it. We'll do this in a year or so, guys.
Yeah.
God bless, and go on Third Man in the Ring. Subscribe and share, guys.
All right.
God bless, man.